from the New Living Translation by Mrs. Beatrice Asante, reading Jeremiah chapter 52. The fall of Jerusalem. Zedekiah was 21 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 11 years. His mother was Hamutal, the daughter of Jeremiah from Lebanon. But Zedekiah did what was evil in the Lord's sight, just as Jehoiakim had done. These things happened because of the Lord's anger against the people of Jerusalem and Judah, until he finally banished them from his presence and sent them into exile. Zedekiah rebelled against the king of Babylon. So on January 15th, during the 9th year of Zedekiah's reign, King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon led his entire army against Jerusalem. They surrounded the city and built siege rams against its walls. Jerusalem was kept under siege until the 11th year of King Zedekiah's reign. But July 18, in the 11th year of Zedekiah's reign, the famine in the city had become very severe, and the last of the food was entirely gone. Then a section of the city wall was broken down, and all the soldiers fled. Since the city was surrounded by the Babylonians, they waited for nightfall. Then they slipped through the gate between the two walls behind the king's garden and headed towards the Jordan Valley. But the Babylonian troops chased King Zedekiah and overtook him on the plain of Jericho, for his men had all deserted him and scattered. They captured him and took him to the king of Babylon at Ribboth in the land of Hamath. There the king of Babylon pronounced a judgment upon Zedekiah. He made Zedekiah watch as he slaughtered his sons. He also slaughtered all the officials of Judah and at Ribboth. Then they gouged Zedekiah's eyes and bound him in bronze chains, and the king of Babylon led him away to Babylon. Zedekiah remained there in prison until the day of his death. The temple destroyed on August 17th of that year, which was the 19th year of King Nebuchadnezzar reign. The captain of the guard and the official of the Babylonian king arrived in Jerusalem. He burned down the temple of the Lord, the royal palace, and all the houses of Jerusalem. He destroyed all the important buildings in the city. Then he supervised the entire Babylonian army as they tore down the walls of Jerusalem on every side. Then Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, took as exile some of the poorest of the people, and the rest of the people remained in the city. Bechtel, who had declared their allegiance to the king of Babylon, and the rest of the craftsmen, but Nebuzaradan allowed some of the poorest people to stay behind to care for the vineyards and fell. The Babylonians broke up the bronze pillars in front of the Lord's temple, the bronze water cart, and the great bronze base called the sea, and they carried all the bronze away to Babylon. They also took all the ash buckets, shovel, lamp sniffer, base, dishes, and all the other bronze articles used for making sacrifices at the temple. The captain of the guard also took the small bowls, incense burners, base pot, lampstand, ladle bowl used for liquid offering, and all the other articles made of pure gold or silver. The way of the bronze from the two pillars, the sea with the 12 bronze ox beneath it, and the water cart was too great to be measured. These things had been made for the Lord's temple in the days of King Solomon. Each of the pillars was 27 feet tall and 18 in circumference. They were hollow with walls 3 inches thick. The bronze capita on top of each pillar was 7.5 feet high and was decorated with the network of bronze pomegranates all the way around. There was 96 pomegranates on the sides and a total of 100 pomegranates on the network around the top. The Hedron, the captain of the guard, took with him as prisoners Sihera the high priest, Sanfana the priest of the second rank, and the 3 chief gatekeepers. And from among the people still hiding in the city, he took an officer who had been in charge of the Judean army, 7 of the king's personal advisors, the army commander's chief secretary, who was in charge of the recruitment, and 60 other citizens. Nebuchadnezzar, the captain of the guard, took them all to the king of Babylon at Riblam. And there at Riblam, in the land of Hamath, the king of Babylon had them all put to death. So the people of Judah were sent into exile from their land. The number of captives taken to Babylon in the 7th year of Nebuchadnezzar's reign was 3,023. Then in Nebuchadnezzar's 18th year, he took 132 more. In Nebuchadnezzar's 23rd year, he sent Nebuchadnezzar, the captain of the guard, who took 745 more, a total of 4,600 captives in all. Hope for Israel royal line in the 37th year of the exile of King Joachim of Judah. And ascended to the Babylonian throne. He was kind to Joachim and releases him from prison on March 31st. On that year, he spoke kindly to Joachim and gave him a higher place than all the other exile kings in Babylon. He supplied Joachim with new clothes to replace his prison garb and allow him to die in the king's presence for the rest of his life. So the Babylonian king gave him a regular food allowance as long as he lived. This continued until the day of his death. Amen and amen.